Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Governor Torres signs the CNMI Cannabis Act companion bill into law. Also tonight, 2 juveniles have been arrested for stealing a vehicle. And more discussions are made by the CNMI Senate on the 2020 budget. In sports, one small private school goes from nothing to something to talk about. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Looking for a truck that's reliable, durable, and a great value? Then drive Tacoma. Tacoma is Saipan's most popular truck. Look around. Everyone drives Tacoma. That's because 9 out of 10 Tacoma trucks sold over the last 10 years are still on the road. If you drive a truck for work or play, you need Tacoma. Good looks, rugged styling with the latest technology, and power when you need it. After all, Saipan is Tacoma territory.
Hafa Day, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, August 21st, 2019. Thank you for watching, and thank you to those listening on Magic 100. Many gathered on Capitol Hill today as Governor Ralph Torres signed the CNMI Cannabis Act companion bill into law. Take a listen. It's the Cannabis Act of 2018, a law to legalize marijuana in the CNMI. And today, House Bill 21-13 is signed into Public Law 21-5 by Governor Ralph Torres. This law makes amendments to the original act, and with the passage, allows for the Cannabis Commission to be sworn in.
First, as I vetoed I signed the bill last time, legalizing cannabis here, but some of the fees, I believe, was too low, and I wanted to give the opportunity for the legislation to be passed and to address the fee of giving permits, whether it's growing commercially, residential, or medicinal. This bill has addressed those concerns.
But with the island still in debt, where is the funding coming from to pay the Cannabis Commission?
We have looked at the legislation with the legislature. We're asking for 500,000 to start out with the commission.
And Governor Torres says the legislation will be deciding where the funding will come from to provide the $500,000. Once the commission has been sworn in, they will have 180 days to create all the rules and regulations. Nadine De Leon Guerrero is one of the 5 members of the Cannabis Commission that will consist of 1 from Tinian, 1 from Rota, 2 from Saipan, and 1 from the Northern Islands.
Man, this is monumental. I mean, we've been waiting since September of last year. And so, of course, we had Mankut that we were responding to, and then we had you two. And so this just breathes a whole new life into regaining our economy back, hopefully in the right direction. There have been some legislative snags, but we're over that and we're ready. We're ready to work. This is what we've been waiting for.
De Leon Guerrero says some of the rules and regulations she is hoping to create are
really, honestly, number one is to get it done right. We cannot please everybody, and that's with everything, right? But what we want to do is please the majority and make sure that we're doing it correctly in the process and that we're not leaving out thinking about the education of children. Outreach is going to be key. We're going to have to reach out to those schools and develop some programs that are going to have to infuse the use of marijuana into the schools and talk about it in a way that doesn't promote the use, but talks about what are the effects if you do decide to use it. And so, of course, with that, married together with our elders, some were still skeptical if this is a good decision, but, you know, overall, majority wants it passed. And, you know, with the commission now on board, we're able to move forward and make everything a reality.
And although this is one step closer to cannabis becoming legal in the CNMI, Governor Torres says it's not official yet.
I asked the community to be patient and allow the commission to promulgate rules and regulation before you can go out and exercise that right.
Governor says he hopes to have the commission sworn in within a few weeks.
We have vacant commission in Tinian, so I just spoke to the leadership today. They're going to be appointing one and then moving forward for a confirmation or a hearing. Hopefully we can get the whole commission in within a few weeks. But they know how important to promulgate rules and regulation. I've talked to them individually on how important it is to move forward and to get, and I'm sure they're doing more research already before being sworn in. So I'm confident that once the committee form in and has a quorum, designate who's the chairman and so forth, I'm confident that within 30 days we'll get something, at least a draft that AG can look into and then go from there.
Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. 2 juveniles have been arrested for theft of a vehicle from the BW car rental. According to a release, the Department of Public Safety responded to a theft on July 27, 2019 at the BW car rental in Garapan. After viewing the surveillance footage of the area, officers saw 2 unknown individuals who were later identified to be juveniles. On August 20th, Judge Joseph Camacho signed an arrest warrant for the 2 juvenile suspects. Both juveniles were located, served, and arrested that same day, where they were brought to the Commonwealth Healthcare Center for clearance before being transported to the Department of Corrections Juvenile Detention Center. Bail has been set at $10,000 each. Both juveniles are facing charges of theft, burglary, criminal mischief, and theft of a vehicle. At the legislation, the Senate held a session, and one of the topics was the fiscal year 2020 budget. Some floor amendments were made, which prompted the Senate President to call for recess and have the committee look further into the changes.
That we want to make sure that the House concern will be addressed on the Senate to see if we can avoid all those conference, you know, and we need this budget to sail smoothly so that it will reach the governor's office before the 11th hour of the fiscal year. So
Senate President Victor Hokog says this will help give more time to make any additional amendments and accommodate the concerns and differences from both the House and Senate at the same time. Therefore, they would not need to have a conference committee.
That is the aim, is to see if we can narrow down all the, downtime in trying to address, and if we can do that from the Senate side and taking the other concern of the House that was left, or we do have differences, that's where we're trying to address so that we can work smoothly and move on with the small resources that we have.
Hokog gave us one example of the changes the Senate wants to make.
Increasing the mayor's budget, Saipan mayor. There have been a lot of positive feedback that the mayor really need additional manpower as they are engaged busily in cleaning up the community. So we felt that he deserved what he is asking, and we like to restore what was taken out from the house. So
the fiscal year 2020 budget is around $233 million. Minus all the obligations from the government, the legislature has $156 million to work with. Coming up, a bill has been passed that will make more police vehicles undercover. Find out more after the break.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
All workers have the right to a safe workplace. Employers must provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards and comply with applicable OSHA standards, including proper reporting of injuries. Training needs to be done in a language and vocabulary employees can understand, and an OSHA information poster must be displayed prominently in the workplace. Workers, you have the right to raise a safety or health concern with your employer or OSHA without being retaliated against, and request an OSHA consultation of your workplace if you believe there are unsafe or unhealthy conditions. OSHA can help. Free assistance to identify and correct hazards is available to small and medium-sized employers without citation or penalty. So look out, speak up, and stay safe. Job safety and health, it's not only good practice, it's the law. Check out OSHA.gov or call 664-3154 or 3155.
Jose and Pedro were born on the very same day. Jose liked to play sports. Pedro liked to play video games. Jose's favorite word was pass. Pass me the ball. Pedro's favorite word was pass too. Pass me the rice. Jose is retired and has both time and energy. His life is just beginning. Pedro has diabetes, hypertension, and gout. His life could soon end. Eat less, play more, live longer. Brought to you by PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. A bill has passed the Senate today that will add more unmarked investigation vehicles to the fleet of law enforcement vehicles. It's House Bill 21-9 SD1, and vehicles from the Office of the Public Auditor is one of the entities that will be added to the unmarked law enforcement vehicles.
Also add other enforcement entities into the list of unmarked vehicles so that they can carry out their duties. A lot of our law enforcement entities are not included in the unmarked vehicles, and for some of them, when they start doing their investigations, it's kind of difficult because you notice that their vehicles are pulling up and they already have the mark on it. So businesses or establishments or any individuals that are trying to avoid them can really avoid them because their vehicles are very visible and the names, the government tags on them. So it's to allow them to effectively do investigations without being detected.
The Senate made amendments, and the bill is now going back to the CNMI House of Representatives for approval before going to Governor Ralph Torres for signature. On Guam, sex abuse lawsuits against the church are continuing as more accusations are being made, and a bill to pay war claims has legislation asking questions. KUAM reports.
Avare Tato CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. Last week's deadline to file a sex abuse lawsuit against the church isn't stopping others from coming forward with accusations now. A lawsuit has been filed against the Boy Scouts of America, several Capuchin Franciscan groups, and others in Superior Court alleging sexual abuse by now deceased Father Louis Brilliard. To protect his privacy, the alleged victim is named as YYY in the lawsuit. According to court documents, the priest is accused of sexually abusing the victim around 1970 and 1971. When the victim was 11 or 12 at the time, Brouillard allegedly tried to touch him during a Boy Scout outing at Malolo Falls. Now, around the same time frame, the victim alleges Brouillard managed to sexually abuse him when they were alone at the San Isidro Church in Malolo. The lawsuit noted if the church hadn't filed for bankruptcy, it also would have been named as a defendant. The victim is seeking $5 million in damages and a trial by jury. A bill to pay up $7.5 million in war claims locally drew some pointed questioning at today's legislative session. Lawmakers wanted to know exactly where the money will come from, but the administration says it doesn't know just yet. Our very own Esther Lecanto explains.
It all began with a law passed by former Delegate Madeline Bordallo. Under it, the source of the claims payments was Section 30 money, taxes collected from federal employees here that are paid back to Gov Guam every year. But because of a technical flaw, several million that's already been set aside can't be touched. And so Delegate Michael San Nicolas has passed a House bill to fix it that's still awaiting action by the Senate. So in the meantime, the governor and the speaker are pushing a bill to pay war survivors as soon as possible. Adelup Chief of Staff Tony Babauta.
We're hopeful again that with the passage of local legislation to speed up on a local level the process, that gives Delegate San Nicolas the time necessary for Congress's consideration of his legislation that makes the technical amendment that's needed for the Department of the Treasury to carry out what we are doing for them in this first round.
The total estimated war claims payments is between 30 to 40 million. The first round, already adjudicated by a federal settlement commission, identified 750 survivors and about 7.5 million in claims.
The governor believes that that's the amount that we can move forward with in trying to bring some immediate resolution and parity to our survivors of Guam's World War II occupation.
Budget Director Lester Carlson says the funding for the local war claims payments will come from anticipated lapsed funds in the current budget, which the governor will be able to tap through her transfer authority. But several senators pressed him on how much and from which agencies. Carlson said repeatedly he won't know until they wrap up the fiscal year.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I was to sit here before you on this
I'm just
day.
asking for an amount, Mr. Carlson.
I'm trying to tell you that I can't sit here and impinge my integrity to provide an answer. My fiscal note, which I signed, says we anticipate lapses. I will stand on that.
But you're not willing to give us an amount of, even a minimal amount?
I don't have a crystal ball.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Stay informed 24/7 by checking out KUAM.com or by downloading the KUAM News app, available for Apple and Android. For Guam's News Network, I'm Chris Barnett.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up, international soccer flies in this weekend. KSPN2 Sports flies in after the break.
Faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Welcome to Marianas Medical Center. We've been taking care of you and your family since 1998. We offer preventive health care services, acute and chronic care for both adults and children.
微产期以及妇科的检查.
신생아 선별 검사 및 영유아 건강 검진.
Meron po kaming food handlers, green cards, school at sports clearances.
Greenig Marianas Medical Center oferece todo classe de serviço para a família mesmo here.
We accept Medicaid, Medicare, and most private insurance plans, and we also accept individuals without any medical insurance. We're conveniently located in the JKR building on Beach Road, Garapan. Marianas Medical Center, quality health care for your entire family.
Visit American Memorial Park, one of Saipan's leading visitor attractions. Open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The visitor center is located in Garapan, just a short walk from most hotels. This U.S. National Park honors the American and Marianas people who lost their lives in World War II during the Marianas Campaign. Entrance is free. Take time to view the main film, to learn about the Battle of Saipan, and walk through the extensive and fascinating museum exhibits. Don't forget to stop by the museum gift shop, which offers unique and exclusive merchandise. All proceeds are donated to the park's education program. Come discover the American Memorial Park. Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, Saipan has some friendlies coming up this weekend, welcoming club teams from Beijing, China for their first visit here. 6 games in 3 days at the Koblerville Training Center. The exhibition will kick off Saturday at 4:30. The NMI U18 boys national team will take on Beijing Elite Corps FC. Then at 7 o'clock, it'll be the NMI M-League All-Stars taking on Beijing 97 Return FC. Games at 5 and 7 Sunday and Monday. The MIFA is welcoming the public to come out and cheer for the NMI Blue. And like the best things in life, it's free. Well, from nothing to something. That is the story of the Agape Christian School sports program. 12 years ago, Agape Christian School started and right away joined the various student sports activities that were available. KSPN2 Sports first saw them when their boys basketball team came out, and year after year they'd get throttled by every other team. In fact, in that first season of 2007, in interscholastic sports, they didn't win a single game. Every game almost a blowout, and those rough times continued in the Rotary Youth Basketball League as well. Yet, they persevered, joining every league and tournament that they could, taking their chops, going down, but then getting right back up. Their coach this season, An Hong Pang, knows their climb up.
In the past, all the coaches, Mr. Todd, Coach Bill Seal from a while ago, they basically helped to promote this sense of teamwork and hard work. It's not about one player, it's about the whole team working together. And if one person tends not to work along with the rest of the team, then maybe there needs to be a different piece in there, because 5 people will always be stronger than just one person.
Coach has his priorities lined up straight.
I mainly look for improvement and progress, and eventually if they keep progressing, excellence will automatically come from that. So progress first and excellence. As long as they give their best, they will do just fine.
Fast forward to 2019 and meet the private high school boys basketball champions, the Agape Torchbearers from Worcester. First, they are example A for Agape. In 12 years, having their own gym went from being nothing but a dream to becoming something that's very real. Marianas High is the only other school with a gym.
We find that the weather in Saipan is always too hot or rain. And when the rain, we cannot have PE. Our volleyball or basketball cannot have training or games. So we feel that a gym will be a good addition for us, for students to, rain or shine, they can have this indoor gym for them to have PE and basketball, volleyball, all this training and games.
The gym will use natural ventilation as the cost of air conditioning such a large facility for such a small school is prohibitive.
The power in CNMI Saipan is the most expensive in U.S. territory. But we have shuttle so that Saipan we have quite windy. So in this case, we can save the power, and at the same time, air condition is not healthy. I think in this weather with windy is healthier.
For a school to succeed in interscholastic sports with only 133 students requires a total commitment by the whole student body, and that's what they get. While ACS has shown steady improvement in basketball, there's one sport where they cannot improve: cross country. That's because they've been dominating interscholastic cross country ever since they joined. See, running is their thing.
We feel that in order to play sport, basketball, soccer, or whatever, you need to run. So in order to train up the stamina and your whole body, so we have Monday to Friday, all the students, especially the boarding students, have to run. So by doing that, our students improve. They have better immune system, they have better physical strength, and to play all the ball games.
That strong running has shown off in another event in the annual end of the year Island Relay Race. They set a new record last year from PIC to the last command post in 1 hour and 23 minutes. They broke their own record, and they won for the 4th year in a row. Now, by inviting a AK Toyota League to play games at their new home when it's ready, they hope that their basketball program will also benefit.
We are about to come up with a plan so that they can use, and this will be a good for our students to watch. At the same time, we want to give back to the community.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Get your game and gear at Gold's Gym Saipan. Group exercise is a great way to get fit and then stay fit. For something high tempo, go for a ride with one of our instructors in our new spin room. Let's roll. Pilates improves flexibility, builds strength, and develops control and endurance in the whole human body. It also improves coordination and balance. And the Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplement. See you at Gold's Gym.
Today, how hot? 90, the low 79, heat index 101. It was 100 degrees at 6 p.m. by the way. Humidity 63% tomorrow. Partly cloudy, isolated showers, northeast winds returning around 5 to 15 miles an hour. High 89, low 79, seas 3 to 5 feet. Sunrise at 6:03, low tide at 6:12, a high tide at 1 past noon, low tide at 5:57, and then sunset at 6:36.
Sunset seems to be getting earlier and
It is.
earlier.
It doesn't seem to be. It is. It is. That's a fact, Jack or Jill or whatever.
You can call me Jill.
Okay.
But how about this new gym? It looks pretty
I was
cool.
so impressed. 133 student, very small student body, and they're the second school to have a gym. So other schools are bigger.
Right.
And Mount Carmel kind of had a gym, but it's from the 50s and it got destroyed. So a little school like that, and a very nice. That's $1 million gym, and they're putting in an epoxy floor. You saw the baskets, and then they're going to have natural ventilation through shutters. They're going to open it up so wind can come from different angles.
Be comfortable for the students.
Well, yeah, it was. It wasn't opened up today, so it was a hot day today. It was warm in there. But I tell you what, nothing's warmer than MHS gym these days.
I could
gotta
only
go there after
imagine.
the news. I'm going to take my shirt off before I go in there. So,
If they put an AC in there.
then we got $250,000. I'd like to donate to Marian's High School gym aircon. Please see Sherilyn Cabrera. She's the principal, and she'll accept that.
I'm sure it pleases the students and the media, right?
And me, yeah.
And me.
And
So
the media.
if you want to help out,
I
contact Bob or MHS.
Puts me in the media.
Yeah, there
right,
you go.
okay.
All right, thanks, Bob, and thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Tune in tomorrow night at 6.
Good night.